You're tuned into Visions, a business and community affairs program designed to encourage and promote entrepreneurship in Central Alabama.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Vision. Cedric Varner. We're here with the Honorable Mayor Todd Strange. We're very excited to get a chance to talk with him. But before we do that, we want to recognize the sponsor of this program, Information Transport Solutions Incorporated, doing great work for the community and the region. Mayor Strange, thanks for coming to be with us again on the program.
Thank you, but I know it is ITS, and they
Yes.
do good work
Yes,
in
sir.
our community. They've been very helpful to us and other clients as well.
I know that they are also working with you with the Internet Exchange.
Have a lot of people doing that, and every piece is an important ingredient to really move Montgomery forward, particularly in the cyber and the technology side of the equation.
Yeah, and speaking of cyber and technology, you've got your innovation district downtown, and how's that going?
It's going well. If you went by the old chamber building, you'd see it gutted right now, because that's where MGM Works is going to go. It's a offshoot of the military, which we're delighted to have to partner with Commerce. I got a meeting today at 11:30 that's going to be talking about coding and some other innovation that might be coming here from Birmingham. So, you know, while we've got great history and we respect that and we market that, we're looking to the future in technology, because anytime that you can be mentioned in the same breath that Austin, Texas, Huntsville, Alabama, and Montgomery in the technology sector, you're beginning to make some strides.
Yeah, well, you're certainly doing great work with that, and I think you also have been really working with the Maxwell Air Force Base and the Cyber Center that they've launched.
Absolutely. The Cyber College of the Air Force really was the first throw at this, and Steve Quast, General Quast, really challenged us and really got us moving in a direction. We were kind of waffling in that direction, but now we're more laser focused in that internet exchange. We got like 26, 27 companies that are going through there. We've got every capability that Atlanta's got. A couple of 100 gig switches. Nobody ever needs 100 gig, but if they did, we'd be able to do that. So we're excited. ASU just joined, and
Dr. Ross.
Obviously they are going to be a big player. They can now collaborate very easily with AUM, so to the extent that we get other educational institutions. When we really will win is when we connect Mobile, Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn to the Montgomery Internet Exchange. And while that's not going to happen today, maybe tomorrow we'll be in a position to do that, because it's all about technology and it's all about cost.
That's good. Well, you know, you talked about General Quast and think he got promoted up the ladder, and the new general is General Anthony Cotton.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a missile guy. We've gotten to know he and Marcia quite well, and he's a lot of fun, He does report to General Quast, but he still continues that same passion on the technology side. He just brings a different mindset to the equation, and what his mission is to really take Maxwell and Gunter and really make it a sterling place. Over the years, a little dust has gotten on some of the infrastructure and things like that. So I know he's working, as we are, to try to get some military construction. The tower out there, for instance, that's the second busiest airport for civilian or VIP landings, next to Andrews Air Force Base in Washington. And so from that standpoint, you want it to be safe and secure. So we're helping them do some things there, and just a little refresh. Okay,
great. Well, you know, a lot going on in the region. One of the biggest things happened yesterday were elections, local, national, and but in particular, we wanted to ask you about the Montgomery Public Schools elections and that process. I see your tagline that says, "So goes education, so goes Montgomery."
It's absolutely correct, because your community cannot tolerate bad education, and unfortunately we've been going in the wrong direction for a number of years. And I mean, it hit rock bottom with that accreditation report that just tells how bad it is. But we started the process before that, trying to make sure that from the governor's standpoint, people knew that there was going to be an election. There were going to be 5 seats up. It is by district and it is by party. And 19 people, including the incumbents, answered the call. two of the incumbents did not choose to stand for re-election. But it was a really good first step last night. I think the people spoke about the desire for change, and we've got some runoffs coming, and then there's be a general election. With the intervention at the state, now settled that the state has that authority, with the governance activities that we're talking about, and to a limited extent some of the conversion charter schools, I think we will be in a position to really, over the next 2 or 3 years, really take great strides forward. And we can, with good leadership, have a system that we can, in fact, begin to be proud of. Nobody's talked about more money, but at some point in time, when we are moving in the right direction, I think the elected politicians will, in fact, raise their hand and say there needs to be additional resources. But the reason no conversation about that now is one of the needs improvement was they weren't using the resources they have available in a very efficient manner as well. So from that standpoint, nobody's saying more taxes today. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be looking at that.
So I see some of the crises were averted where, you know, some of the schools that were scheduled to close, now they're going to be able to
yeah, the Chisholm made a lot of sense to stay open. I personally wanted Chisholm to stay open because there are a lot of programs for our youth there. And closing a school in Chisholm really kind of took one of the hallmarks out, because Charles Lee's doing some great work out there. The Nehemiah Center's doing some great work out there. We certainly have the zoo out there, so we have a vested interest. So from that standpoint, I was delighted to see that one off the table. And frankly, that was just a negotiation. On the other side of the equation, it was too late in the game to really do what we need to do on that other one, or what the Board of Education needs to do. And just out of a business decision, I think it's stay open another year. But
Dozier,
you know, the extent, Dozier, yeah, to the extent that we are losing 500 students a year, that means you'd have to close a school every year or every other year, and we certainly don't want that. That's why it's so important to keep the people, keep the kids in the school, because not only does that mean your kid's going to get educated, but you lose the money that follows them from the state when they go elsewhere or get homeschools or go to other schools of their choice.
Well, it does take a village to, you know, raise a child, and one of the things that's going on now, since it is summertime, our students are out of school, we've got the summer feeding program.
Not only the feeding programs, we've got brain forest programs, we've got sports activities, we've got work activities. There will be something in the 230,000 range of meals served over the summertime. Not by the city necessarily, but certainly we're part of that, but YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs. So there are a number of organizations that are doing that. And so, you know, to the extent that kids are hungry, they're not going to learn, they're not going to have fun. Nutrition is a big part of that, not only summertime, but while you're in school. So we want to do everything that we can to give these kids something to do. I was riding by Gateway Park coming in the other day, and they had kayaks out there. They had archery out there. They had kickball out there, and those are just a couple of programs. We've got equestrian for them. Certainly we've got swimming, and if you go out to any of these ball fields with baseball going on, it's a fun time. And what we would say is read some books. We got the library on wheels going around. We certainly got libraries. Read some books. Don't lose what you've gained over that last year, because you want to go back, you want to start where you left off.
Well, now you just mentioned library, great renovation on Montgomery Public Library downtown. Yeah,
the city and the county went together to come up with a couple of $1 million bucks over a couple of year period of time, and Juanita O's has done a great job with her deputy Karen and the entire staff to really get to where we need to be. We're not quite there yet. There's some additional technology that we can put in, but we almost doubled the number of computers that we have that are accessible by our kids. And if you go there on any day after about 3 o'clock on a weekday and see all those kids around there working on the computers, and frankly you see even older people working on those computers. So not everybody has the luxury of having a computer in their home. So we're delighted that that's happened, and we give great kudos to not only the staff but also to the Friends of the Library and the foundation who's helped raise the money for that as well.
Well, I really like that library. I've been there several times since it's been open. As we transition, I want to ask you about the Hyundai announcement. 388 million?
Well, not only that, we've had two big things happen last week. The 388 million is a really good next step. Not a lot of jobs. It could be as much as, I think we announced 50. It may go higher than that. I think it will go higher. But the money is for technology and capacity and really investment in a new engine that's going to be developed, not only for Hyundai, but also for Kia. And so from that standpoint, it was a logical and necessary next step. A couple of 3 days later, we rolled off the first SUV, the Santa Fe, that's being produced again in Montgomery. They went away in about 2010.
Wow.
Been over at Kia. And so now we control our own destiny. They're going to produce 150 plus. And just watch those numbers. Watch the Santa Fe sales numbers and watch the Tucson sales numbers. And if they go north, which certainly everybody expect, then this plant is going to be in a really good position for other things.
Good. We're just getting close on time. I've got to say, before we go any further, what a great event and process that Brian Stevenson and the EJI team have done in this region with the museum and the memorial. Tremendous. We got some photos we're going to show, but in fact we got a photo there. That's the press day when Brian was speaking to all the members of the press. But
he's a special individual.
Yes.
Really, 5 years ago I didn't know Brian, and I was leafing through Time magazine, and I was just going through the list of top 100 leaders, and ran across somebody from Montgomery, Alabama by the name of Brian Stevenson. So I didn't know him. We had breakfast and become good acquaintances, and the effort that he's made to bring this part of our history to the fore is important, because anytime that you speak about history, whether it be the Holocaust or whether it be civil rights, or this certainly the memorial, it brings remembrance so that we don't do it again. A tragic time. We've kind of confronted that, and in so doing, there are a lot of people that are coming to Montgomery. I just got the report on hotel occupancy. It was up 33% over this time last year. That's a lot of revenue, and people come to Montgomery now and they see what Montgomery's got to offer, and they become great ambassadors.
Mayor, we just got about 30 seconds left. Just once again, we got the photos rolling across with what Brian Stevenson and the EJI team did. You go through there, you got people coming from Atlanta, from Colorado. They're just coming from across the country. It is just tremendous.
All over. Go to the museum first, and then go to the memorial.
Excellent. Mayor, I believe we got to go, so we're going to have to pick this up next time. Thanks for coming to be with us. We always run out of time. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.